When Ghosts Get Ghosted, writing the paranormal Halloween cozy mystery. Hello there, my fellow cozy mystery writers. Victoria L.K. Williams here, welcoming you back to another supernatural episode of Sun, Sand, and Stories. Today we're combining three of my favorite things: paranormal elements, Halloween, and cozy mysteries. And let me tell you, if you think regular Halloween is perfect for mysteries, wait until you add real ghosts to your fake ghost decorations. You know, Halloween is the one time of year when paranormal cozies can really let their freak flag fly. Your psychic protagonist doesn't have to hide their abilities. Everyone expects weird stuff on Halloween. Your ghost character can walk down Main Street and people just compliment their costume. Your magical cat can act as strange as they want, and everyone blames it on Halloween energy. So pour yourself some legitimately enchanted apple cider, light a candle, maybe check if it's cursed first. And let's explore what happens when the veil isn't just thin, it's practically tissue paper. Writing paranormal Halloween cozies is like hosting a costume party where half your guests don't need costumes because they're already dead. The beauty is that Halloween provides perfect cover for supernatural elements that might seem jarring any other time of year. Halloween is when paranormal cozy writers get to play with all their toys at once. The real ghost at the fake haunted house. The most delicious irony of paranormal Halloween mysteries is putting real supernatural elements in fake scary situations. The contrast creates both humor and mystery. Example: the haunted house's actual haunting. The Citrus Beach Haunted Harbor hired actors to jump out and scare people. What they didn't hire was the genuine ghost of Harold Morrison who'd started appearing in the mirror maze. "He's not on payroll," the manager complained to Megan, "and he's scaring people wrong." Wrong! Our actors do jump scares. Quick, fun, done. Harold's ghost is showing people actual murder scenes. Customer complained they saw someone being strangled in the mirrors. That's not family-friendly. Megan, blessed or cursed with the ability to see and communicate with spirits, entered the mirror maze. Harold's ghost appeared immediately, more solid than usual. Halloween did that to spirits. "Harold, you're ruining the haunted house." "Murdered," Harold moaned, which was pretty standard ghost communication. "Yes, we know. But you're traumatizing teenagers." Harold's reflection shifted, showing not his murder but someone else being strangled. Future tense, not past. "Oh," Megan breathed, "you're not showing your murder. You're showing the next one. Who is that?" The victim's face in the mirror was wearing distinctive cat eye glasses. Margaret Fleming, Marcus's wife. "When?" Megan asked urgently. Harold held up fingers. 3 hours. During the midnight special event, Megan realized, when the haunted house is darkest and most crowded, the perfect cover for murder. Victoria Laurie's Ghost Hunter Mysteries handle this beautifully. Real ghosts investigating fake hauntings, with Halloween amplifying both. The costume that isn't. When everyone's in costume, magical beings can walk around in their true forms. This creates opportunities for both comedy and mystery. Example: the vampire at the vampire party. The Citrus Beach. Vampire Ball was the highlight of Halloween, everyone in elaborate vampire costumes, fake fangs, dramatic capes. Megan's supernatural sense immediately pinged on one attendee. "Great costume," someone complimented the tall, pale figure in Victorian dress. "Thank you," the vampire replied, genuinely pleased. "I've had centuries to perfect it." Everyone laughed, thinking it was method acting. Megan sidled closer. This was an actual vampire at a vampire party, and nobody noticed. Well, nobody except her and Harold Morrison, who was backing away slowly. "Harold knows," she whispered to Jake. "Look at his face." Harold was terrified, but not of a costume. He recognized something real. An hour later, Harold was dead, 2 puncture wounds on his neck. "Vampire bite!" someone screamed. "Barbecue fork," the coroner corrected. "Someone's trying to make it look supernatural." But Megan knew better. The real vampire hadn't killed Harold. He'd been too busy judging the costume contest, genuinely offended by the historical inaccuracies. So who had used the vampire's presence as cover? "Check who knew about our real guest," Megan suggested. Someone recognized them like Harold did and used it as the perfect frame. Charlene Harris's Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries could easily incorporate this element: real supernatural beings hiding among Halloween celebrants. The Familiars' Halloween Chaos. Magical familiars, cats, dogs, birds, experience Halloween differently. The concentrated magical energy affects them, sometimes helping investigations, sometimes hindering. Example: Midnight's Halloween Overload. My black cat Midnight usually had subtle magical abilities, sensing danger, finding clues, occasionally walking through walls when he thought I wasn't looking. On Halloween, he was practically radioactive with power. "Midnight, stop floating," I hissed as he drifted past the window. He meowed apologetically and dropped to the floor, but his eyes were glowing green like emergency exit signs. "The veil is too thin," my grandmother had warned. "Familiars absorb the excess energy." Which would have been fine, except Harold Morrison's murder needed solving, and my magical cat was high on Halloween. "Can you find evidence?" I asked hopefully. Midnight zoomed out, literally zoomed, leaving a trail of green sparkles, and returned with a rubber bat, 6 candy wrappers, and someone's toupee. "Very helpful," I sighed. But then he did something useful. He hissed at every photo of the party guests, except 3. 3 people didn't trigger his Halloween-heightened senses. 3 people who registered as magically null. Protective charms, I realized. 3 people at the party were wearing protection against magical detection. Why would anyone do that unless they knew real magic would be present? Midnight had found our suspect pool, not by what he sensed, but by what he couldn't sense. Sophie Kelly's Magical Cats Mysteries excel at showing how familiars' abilities change with circumstances. The seance that actually works. Halloween seances in paranormal cozies aren't just atmosphere, they're actual communication with the dead. But when everyone expects fake supernatural events, real ones can be dismissed. Example: The Midnight Seance Surprise. The Morrison family held a seance every Halloween, usually fake, with Margaret Morrison using her theater background to create supernatural effects. This year, she didn't need to fake anything. "We call upon the spirit of Harold Morrison," she intoned dramatically. "I'm already here," Harold's ghost boomed, making everyone jump. "Excellent effects, Margaret," someone applauded. "That wasn't me," Margaret said weakly. Megan could see Harold's spirit clearly. Halloween made him almost solid, but the others thought it was part of the show. "Who killed me?" Harold demanded. "Oh, very interactive," a guest laughed. "Is this audience participation?" "The killer is in this room." Classic mystery dinner theater. Megan watched Harold's growing frustration. He was literally telling them who murdered him, and they were applauding the performance. "Marcus Fleming poisoned my wine." "Marcus, you're part of the show? Brilliant," someone said as Marcus went pale. "It's not a show," Marcus stammered. Method acting. So convincing. Harold's ghost threw the seance table across the room. Still think it's a show? Megan asked in the silence that followed. Special effects? Someone suggested weakly. Marcus, would you like to confess now, or should we let Harold continue his revelation? He seems to have a lot of details to share. Christy Fifield's Haunted Souvenir Shop Mysteries handle real seances brilliantly, especially when the living don't believe what they're seeing. The Time Loop Halloween's reputation as a night when the veil is thin can literally affect time in paranormal cozies. Groundhog Day meets Halloween meets murder. Example: The Halloween That Wouldn't End. I woke up on Halloween for the 5th time. Same spider decoration falling at 6 a.m. Same neighbor's inflatable ghost deflating at 6:15. Same phone call at 6:30. Harold Morrison's been murdered, Detective Billings said, like he had 4 times before. The time loop was supernatural. I could feel it in my bones, that electric sensation that meant serious magic was at work. Someone with power had trapped Halloween in repeat until... What? This time, I tried something different. Instead of investigating Harold's murder, I investigated who had magical abilities strong enough to create a time loop. The Citrus Beach Witch Circle denied involvement. We can barely manage love potions, their leader admitted. The local medium, Mrs. Chen, was stuck in the loop too, getting increasingly annoyed with repeating Halloween. That left one possibility: Harold himself. I found his ghost at midnight, the moment of his death. You're doing this, I accused. Can't move on, he confirmed. Murderer must confess. Harold, you're trapping the entire town in Halloween until your killer confesses? He nodded, looking slightly embarrassed. That's not how justice works. And it's exhausting. I've trick-or-treated 5 times. Almost worked, Marcus getting nervous. Indeed, by the 5th loop, Marcus Fleming was showing cracks. He knew something was wrong, kept checking his watch, muttering about déjà vu. One more loop, I bargained with Harold. If Marcus doesn't confess by midnight, you let Halloween end and we solve this the normal way. Harold agreed. On the 6th Halloween, Marcus cracked at 11:47 p.m., screaming about how he couldn't take another repeat, confessing everything. Time resumed normally, and I ate so much November 1st candy I made myself sick. The Witch's Halloween Dilemma. Witches in paranormal cozies face unique challenges on Halloween. Their powers are stronger but less controlled, and everyone expects them to act witchy even if they usually hide their abilities. Bailey Cates's Magical Bakery Mysteries show how challenging it can be for witches to maintain their cover during Halloween. Example: The spell gone wrong. Every Halloween I baked protection charms into my cookies, just a little hedge magic to keep the town safe. This year, with Harold Morrison having so many enemies, I added extra protection to his order. It backfired spectacularly. The protection spell was so strong it created a visible barrier around Harold, a shimmering green bubble that everyone at the party could see. Special effects? Someone asked hopefully. I can't get out, Harold said, panicking. What is this? I tried to dispel it discreetly, but Halloween had amplified my magic. Instead of dropping the shield, I accidentally made it glow brighter. It's protecting you, I said quietly. Just go with it. From what? As if in answer, a knife flew across the room, thrown by someone in a scream mask, and bounced off the barrier. From that, I said. The masked figure ran. Harold was safe but stuck in a magical hamster ball. We need to catch the knife thrower, Detective Billings said, but also can someone explain the green force field? Halloween atmospheric anomaly, I suggested weakly. That's not a thing. It is this year. The protection spell lasted until midnight, keeping Harold safe but also trapped. The killer made 3 more attempts, each one failing against my overcharged magic. By the time the spell wore off, we had enough evidence to identify Marcus Fleming by his increasingly desperate attempts. You saved my life with what exactly? Harold asked later. Halloween magic, I said truthfully, knowing he'd never believe it. The portal problem. Some paranormal Halloween cozies play with the idea that Halloween opens portals between worlds. This can complicate murder investigations when suspects might literally be from another dimension. Example: the otherworldly suspect. The mirror in Harold Morrison's hallway had always been strange, an antique that reflected things slightly wrong. On Halloween, it became a portal. I watched a figure step through it at the party. They looked like Harold, but wasn't. Parallel universe, my grandmother had warned. Halloween opens doors that should stay closed. This other Harold was slightly different, left-handed instead of right, cruel smile instead of Harold's nervous laugh. And he had a very good reason to kill our Harold. In his world, our Harold had killed him, or would kill him. Parallel universes make verb tenses complicated. You can't arrest someone from another dimension, Detective Billings said when I explained. No, but we can send him back. How do we know he's the killer? Because our Harold is right-handed but was stabbed left-handed. Because the killer knew the house layout but kept turning the wrong way. Mirror image navigation. Because no one saw the killer leave, he went back through the portal. This is insane. This is Halloween in a house with a dimensional portal. We lured other Harold back with a fake seance, claiming we'd summon our Harold's ghost to reveal the killer. When he stepped through the mirror to stop us, my grandmother was ready with a binding spell. Portal travel is illegal in 17 dimensions, she informed him primly, including this one. Other Harold was sent back to face justice in his own world, where apparently they had better laws about interdimensional murder. The Psychic's Halloween Overload. Psychics and paranormal cozies experience Halloween like standing in a crowded room where everyone's shouting. The psychic noise can overwhelm but also reveal hidden truths. Victoria Laurie's MJ Holiday series perfectly captures the sensory overload psychics experience during emotionally charged times. Example: the visions in the crowd. Halloween hit my psychic senses like a tsunami. Every person in costume carried the psychic imprint of what they represented. Every fake gravestone resonated with actual death energy. Every plastic skeleton reminded my gift of real bones. By the time I reached Harold Morrison's party, I was seeing triple, past, present, and potential futures layered over each other. You okay? Jake asked, steadying me. Too much input, I managed. Then I saw it, Harold's death. Not happened yet, but about to. In 15 minutes, someone in a plague doctor costume would poison his drink. We need to stop Harold from drinking anything, I said urgently. Why? Psychic vision, trust me. We tried to reach Harold, but the crowd was thick, everyone in elaborate costumes. I kept seeing flashes, the plague doctor's mask, a poisoned goblet, Harold laughing then choking. There! I spotted the plague doctor approaching Harold with a drink. Jake tackled them, sending the drink flying. It hit the ground, smoking and eating through the carpet. That's not punch, someone observed. Under the plague doctor mask? Marcus Fleming, Harold's business partner. How did you know? Billings asked later. Halloween intuition, I said, not mentioning the skull and crossbones I'd seen floating over Marcus's head all evening. My psychic gift's not so subtle warning system. The Angel and Demon Dilemma. Halloween brings out all supernatural entities, not just ghosts. Angels and demons walking among trick-or-treaters create unique investigation challenges. Example: the angelic witness. The angel at Harold Morrison's party wasn't wearing a costume. I could tell by the way my inherited angel sight made them glow like a holy lighthouse. You saw the murder, I said quietly, approaching them. I cannot interfere with free will, they replied in that multitonal voice angels have. But you can report what you witnessed? That is complicated. Angels, always with the rules. Can you nod if I guess correctly? A slight inclination of their perfect head. The killer was at the party. Nod. Wore a red costume. Nothing. Blue? Nothing. Black. Nod. This went on for an hour, the angel bound by cosmic laws but wanting justice. They couldn't speak the killer's name but could confirm my deductions. Meanwhile, the demon dressed as an IRS agent, talk about redundant, was actively helpful. Marcus Fleming did it, the demon said cheerfully. Poisoned the apple cider at 9:47 p.m., used cyanide from the jewelry shop where he worked weekends. You're welcome. Why are you helping? Harold sold his soul to me in 1987 for business success. Can't collect if someone else kills him early. That's breach of cosmic contract. You could have led with that information. Where's the fun in that? The Reaper's Night Off. Death personified often appears in paranormal Halloween cozies. Sometimes they're investigating unauthorized deaths. Sometimes they're just trying to enjoy the holiday. Example: Death's Holiday Interrupted. The Grim Reaper at Harold Morrison's party wasn't a guest. It was actually Death trying to enjoy Halloween incognito. One night, Death complained to me, one of the few who could see them truly. One night where everyone dresses like me and I can relax. But no, someone has to do an unauthorized murder. Unauthorized? Harold Morrison isn't supposed to die for 7 more years. Someone's messing with the timeline. Can you just not take him? Not how it works. Once murdered, the death stands. But I can help you catch the killer. Cosmic balance and all that. Death pointed to Marcus Fleming. His time was supposed to be tonight. Heart attack at 11:47 p.m., but he's altered his fate by committing murder. So if we prevent Harold's murder, Marcus dies on schedule, Harold lives his full span. Win-win, except for Marcus's. We had 20 minutes to prevent a murder that would disrupt the cosmic timeline. Death created distractions, appearing fully visible to select people, causing strategic fainting, while I swapped Harold's poisoned drink. Marcus drank it himself by accident, fulfilling his original destiny with a different cause. Cosmic balance maintained, Death said, satisfied. Now, is there a costume contest? I never win, but it's fun to enter. The prophetic pumpkin. Divination is stronger on Halloween. Pumpkins, mirrors, and candles become tools for solving mysteries in paranormal cozies. Example: the jack-o'-lantern's prophecy. Every pumpkin I carved this Halloween showed the same thing: Harold Morrison's face screaming. That's unsettling, Jake said, looking at my 5th attempt. I'm trying to carve cats, I said, frustrated, but my prophetic gift keeps taking over. The 6th pumpkin was different. It showed Harold's face and a clock, 11:47 p.m. That's tonight, Jake realized. The 7th pumpkin revealed location: the lighthouse. The 8th showed the killer's weapon, a fishing gaff. The 9th? The 9th showed the killer's face, Marcus Fleming. Your pumpkins are literally solving the murder before it happens, Jake said, amazed. We need to get to the lighthouse. We arrived at 11:45 to find Marcus waiting for Harold, gaff in hand. The pumpkins told you? Marcus said in disbelief when we stopped him. Halloween divination is very reliable, I said. Also, you might want to avoid the pumpkin contest. My jack-o'-lanterns have been telling everyone your story all night. The Halloween Power Swap. Sometimes Halloween doesn't just amplify paranormal abilities, it swaps them between people, creating chaos and unexpected investigative opportunities. Example: The Great Power Shuffle. At midnight on Halloween, everyone at Harold Morrison's party suddenly had different abilities. The psychic became telekinetic. The medium started seeing the future. The witch could suddenly speak to animals. And I, normally able to see ghosts, could now read minds. The killer's thoughts were deafening. No one can know I killed Harold. Act normal. Don't think about the poison. I looked directly at Marcus Fleming, whose thoughts were screaming his guilt. You poisoned the cider, I said. How could you know that? He thought said. Halloween power swap. I can read your mind. You're thinking about where you hid the cyanide, behind the fake tombstone marked R.I.P. Sanity. Marcus ran, but the person who'd gotten super speed caught him easily. This is the weirdest Halloween ever, Detective Billings said, currently able to talk to ghosts. Harold's spirit won't stop telling me jokes. By dawn, powers returned to normal, but we had our confession and evidence. Marcus had counted on magical chaos to hide his crime, not realizing it would expose him instead. Note, none of the examples used are from any published books. They were created specifically for this podcast. Well, my dear fellow writers, we've just taken a supernatural journey through the world of paranormal Halloween cozies, from real ghosts at fake haunted houses to witches whose protection spells work too well, from time loops that trap entire towns in Halloween to angels who can only nod at the truth. We've explored what happens when real magic meets the one night when everyone expects it. The beauty of paranormal Halloween cozies is that you can go absolutely wild with your supernatural elements and readers will roll with it. Halloween already asks people to accept the impossible. When you add real paranormal elements, you're just fulfilling the promise of the season. Your ghosts don't need to hide, your witches can let their magic show, and your psychics can have visions in public without anyone calling the authorities. Remember, though, even in paranormal Halloween cozies, the mystery still needs to be solved through investigation, not just magical revelation. Your ghost can point to clues, but shouldn't solve everything. Your witch's spells should complicate as much as they help. Your psychic vision should be puzzles to interpret, not clear answers. The key is using Halloween's natural, magic-friendly atmosphere to enhance your paranormal elements while still maintaining the cozy mystery structure. The supernatural should make the mystery more interesting, not replace the need for deduction and investigation. Think of paranormal abilities as specialized tools, useful in specific situations, but not universal solution machines. Also remember that Halloween and paranormal cozies should still be fun. Your real ghosts should be more frustrated than frightening. Your vampires should complain about costume inaccuracies. Your death should want to enter the costume contest. Keep that cozy warmth even when dealing with genuine supernatural forces. This is Victoria L.K. Williams, signing off from this extra supernatural episode of Sun, Sand, and Stories. Until next time, may your Halloween ghosts be helpful, your portals stay stable, and your magical murders make sense. Remember, in paranormal Halloween cozies, the real magic is making readers believe the unbelievable while still playing fair with the mystery. Happy writing, everyone, and may your Halloween be genuinely supernatural.